far away. No?
You're live.
Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody, moving in a little bit closer. I didn't know I had the camera like a mile away, miles and miles away. And yes, Don, of course, we'll be talking about opals. We're always hooked on opals. So yes, absolutely opals.
Hi, Beth.
But hey, Beth. Hey, oh yeah, let's go through and say hi to everybody. So we got hey Cheryl, first in line, Cheryl. Hey Don, yes, it's opals. Yeah, common opal. Do a little bit of the precious opal, of course. How can we get out not doing precious opal?
It's about the other gems, right?
Common opal. No, this is all common opal rather than precious opal. Common opal. So yes. Hey Lori. Hi Earth the Elegance.
Beth.
I'm going. Hey Beth. Hey Janetta, if you're out there,
I'm sure she is. Hi, Mom.
Today is the day. So yeah, so today we're going to be talking about something really weird. Yeah, you guessed it, opals. Yeah, what do you know, opals, and yeah, there's a whole ocean of opals out there. So you know, everybody, yeah, do we like our opals? Yeah, of course we like our opals. Can we ever get tired of opals? Yeah, no. You can get like opal fever where you just get like delusional and like, oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? And then you have to stand back and take a break. But no, you can't never get rid of opals. You know, that's why they're so intriguing and so many people like them is because, you know, they're opals. So in that being said, we had some dramatic events happening this week.
It was Christmas.
Brenda needed to get a rabies shot because she got bit by a vicious animal, and on her finger, she's trying to hide her finger like she's always trying to hide her injuries. So yeah, Brenda got bit by a vicious animal, and it chewed on her finger. She thought maybe she needed stitches. She definitely thinks she broke it, but you know. They can't really do anything about a broken finger, you know, maybe put a splint on it, but you know, yeah, they're really not going to do much. Rabies shot, I just did that in the garage, and I got all that stuff. So we just gave her a rabies shot in the garage. So if anybody's wondering what the vicious animal was that reached out, totally surprised her, came out of the blue, ran up, bit her in the finger, ran away, was the car door. And who smashed her finger in the car door?
I did.
She smashed her own finger in the car door. But lucky it was her non-use hand, and she was able to open the door
to get it out.
And then came, of course, to me like, help me. And I'm like, you smashed your finger in the door. So when I went running in the house to go in the house to help her or to look, whatever, I'm kind of looking at the garage door and I'm thinking like, it couldn't have been the garage door. And then I looked at the porch door and I'm like, how did you just, you know, no. Then I look in the house door and I'm like, so I go in there and she's standing in the kitchen, of course, looking at it. And I said, I don't get how you could have smashed your finger in the door. What door? She goes, my car door. I'm like, a car door? How the heck did you smash it? Well, I don't know. I was putting on, you know, we have, you know, because we got freezing rain, freezing fog and stuff. So she was putting on this, hey, Carol. So she was putting on the car cover and then somehow, I guess, smashed her finger in the car door. Yeah,
Christmas.
You know, we've all done it. When I was a kid, I smashed. Hey, Claude. Hey, buddy. So when we were a kid, I smashed 2 fingers. I still got some scars on these 2 fingers. I smashed these 2 fingers in the car door, but on my behalf, it was a convertible, and when I had jumped, we were I think coming back from swimming or fishing, and I mean I was just a kid. I jumped in the back seat of a convertible and put my hand up on top there, and my brother Ken closed the door. My two fingers are in there, and I actually needed stitches. So that was a childhood memories.
I may lose my fingernail.
I can understand what she's going through, but
hi, Patty.
Hey, Patty, but she smashed her own finger in there. And yes, I'm the kind of guy that loves to take the blame for stuff like that. So normally I would say something smart like I got mad because she burnt my toast and I smashed her finger in the car door because of that. But no, I wasn't there. So this one she's going to have to take on herself. So yeah. So, and again, she's got surgery coming up on Monday on her foot.
Yeah.
So she'll forget all about that finger, right? What finger? What finger? She ain't gonna be able to use crutches because she's got one broken hand and one broken paw. Maybe if it's the opposite one, she can hobble at least the right direction, right? 1 foot, one. Look at all these wood pellets on the floor. So yeah, so anyhow, so weird as it being, weird as it is, we're gonna be looking at that really strange stuff. Opals, are you reading along?
Yeah.
Close the trunk on a 6 Camaro, both of my thumbs. Oh, yes, yes. Hey, so,
hi, Peggy.
Hey, Peggy. So when I used to be a garbage man.
What is Audie?
Hey, Audie. When I was a garbage man, and if anybody's I'm sure a lot of people aren't familiar with the garbage truck, but so basically what it is you throw garbage in this hopper in the back, and then they got this big jaw thing that comes down and scoops it up, and then it just keeps compacting it and packing it and packing it. Otherwise, 3 stops and you'd be full. So we were at the post office and we dumped a bunch of stuff in, and because now the garbage truck is back down low and you're up high, and they got this bar that runs across it actually contains the hook, and I was like leaning, looking down, watching this thing, and the ram came down and got all 4 of my fingertips, but just quick enough that as soon as I felt it, I yanked my hands out of my gloves. My gloves stayed in there, and it pinched, but it didn't turn my fingernails black and blue or nothing. And then, of course, my sister Donna, who's not watching right now because they never watch my shows. Family, what are family for, right? We were going to Wausau, and she told me, start the car, move it out in the driveway, let it warm up. So I did that, and then when she came out, she's like, I'm sitting inside the passenger seat, and she's like, comes out of the house, she's like, you didn't close the garage door. And I watch her grab it, pull it down, and then grab it on that first panel in the seam and pull it down. And she's like turning around, screaming. So I had a quick run out. And of course, pop it open. And yeah, I think she like broke all 4 or 8 of her fingertips in there. And again, there was nothing you could do. Needless to say, we didn't end up going to Wausau. So yeah, imagine that. So yes, memories. Speaking of memories, did everybody get your wishes fulfilled by Santa Claus, by old Kris Kringle? Did he give you everything you wanted to get? Yeah, I got some socks. That's all I got was socks.
You lie. You lie.
And not only were they socks, they were like, and of course, somebody. I said I don't wear anklets. I don't wear anklet socks.
He got other stuff.
So she got me some socks, and I pull them out of the package, and of course they're like, they're like this long, little anklet things. They'll stretch when you wash them and wear them for a while. And I'm like, well, that's not going to really happen because I ain't going to be wearing them because I don't wear little anklet, little booty things. So, so actually then, I ended up with nothing for Christmas.
You lie!
Nothing. So if anybody out there is feeling like really guilty,
Jerry's giving you a sob.
You can send me some stuff. Here's something really nice, Jerry. I hope you feel better. because Brenda stiffed you for the holidays.
I didn't
Even
though.
after I give her the huge quad runner, I get a pair of socks that are
What
too
else
small,
did you get?
and she's gonna end up keeping them for herself. So yeah,
You got pens.
So anyhow, getting off Christmas. Hopefully everybody had a happy holidays.
He is a liar, Beth.
And spend it. With
I don't
the
believe him either.
I spent it with Brenda's family, and then I looked on Facebook and saw members of my family all having fun. Of course, we weren't invited. Well, it's not really. I guess technically, it's not our family. It's because we're all individuals now. We're all separate families, except for us. It's just me and the sidekick, right? So yes, we spent Christmas, me, her, and the dog. Of course, the dog loved it.
Yeah, and that's when I smashed my finger in the door.
Yes,
was Christmas.
And today, Squirrely had his favorite. It was a little bit late for Christmas, but his favorite supper, liver. Oh,
yes.
He just loves his
chicken liver.
So, yes. So yeah. So anyhow, getting back to
rocks.
The hoorah, hoorah, hoorah. Let's take a look at some the rest of the family. What I meant by the rest of the family was other opals. So we have precious opals, and then we have what we call common opals. So if people aren't really sure what common opals are, I'll show you.
Yes, Cheryl, thanks, because Jerry is full of it.
Give you some dizzy,
he tells tall tales. Don't you notice his nose is getting longer and longer?
Yes, longer and longer. So let me sit down at the table here. So anyhow, if I can back out, maybe I can zoom in. So why am I shading? Let me turn a little bit so I'm not chill. I'm not gonna make people sick.
So Patty said she would have invited us to Christmas. It was 70 degrees by her.
Yes, I can imagine. So here is common opals, and if people aren't familiar with common opals can come in any color, really. White, blue. If I'm doing that right. Blue, pink, green. I don't have. Yellow, I don't really have. There's some yellow in there. So
Don wants to know if your lives come with motion sickness bags.
No, yeah, my jerking around again. Yeah, I have a habit of doing that. Sorry. So yeah, so they are, like precious opal, but they're common opal. So basically, what it is, it's still a hydrated silicone dioxide, but it can have a glassy look or a milky look, and it can be actually clear too. But basically, what separates them from your precious opal, it's due to the disorganization of the silica spheres inside that don't give you that play of color like what you think. So it's actually the irregular size silica spheres that aren't giving you any play of color. So yes, it's opal. I'm trying to find a light here I could use. So yes, it's an opal, but it has no play of color. So
does size and configurations matter?
As far as what?
Common opal.
Oh no, it can be any size, any shape. They'll come in massive forms. So you can have moss opal, highlight opal, which this is highlight opal. This is actually, this pink is a Peruvian pink. You can have fluorescent, which again, highlight opal is known for fluorescing too. And so you can have a bunch of different kinds of opal. So we'll take a closer look at some of this opal here that I got. I've got some sliced up, and this is kind of what it looks like when it's sliced up.
No, don't be walking around. What do you want?
Yeah, I know. I was going to turn on a brighter light, but it's
not. It's right behind you.
Yeah, I know. It's in my head. So I'm trying not to walk around. Ouch. Trying to get a brighter light here. Oh, that's actually kind of almost worked, right? So here's some slices of...
Do you have water?
Yeah, so here's some slices of highlight opal right here. So you can see, or not highlight opal. This is common opal. Sorry. So this can, if you see, it has this pink and kind of like a bluish gray. It's got the white. So yeah, it's really pretty stuff. And then it can have this
And where would you find this stuff?
butterscotch. It's found everywhere in the country, or probably in the world. This particular stuff, this is from the gem fields in Nevada. But now when you look at it up close, you see your nemesis.
Fractures.
Look at the fractures and the pits and the stuff. So when you're cutting this and cabbing it, it's very, very tough to find good stuff and to get it to not even, you can even.
Is it really super hard, common opal? Is it very hard?
Very, very hard. This stuff is very, very hard.
So it eats up your wheels quickly.
Yes, but normally opal, common opal is actually soft, but this stuff is so silicated. This is very hard, but with hardness, because it comes brittleness. So let me zoom in a little bit more here. So you can see how shiny that is. This isn't wet. This is completely dry. And you can see how shiny that is, but because it's a double-edged sword, that it's.
But it takes a really pretty polish.
Super, super hard, but it fractures and pits. So yeah, it's kind of tricky. So then you also have, and what this stuff is and I've showed this in past. This is opalized chrysocolla. So now it's chrysocolla that was opalized. So again, and they call this is called opalina. Basically, opalina is.
That makes me think that it would be a little girl with a tutu, opalina.
Maybe. And with opalina being, again, opal, see how that's shiny like that? Well, this isn't shiny because it is shiny. This is shiny because this stuff needs to be stabilized, heavily stabilized, because you just start working on this stuff and it just crumbles away into nothing. But once you stabilize it and make cabs out of it, it's some amazing stuff. Beautiful polish. It's a little bit of orange peel, and you can see in there. So I could actually stabilize this one, or actually use Opticon and coat this. And then once you coat it, you could polish it again, and then you would lose that orange peely. But I mean, it's really nice looking stuff. Hey, look at it. See the two eyes? Eye, and his mouth, little happy face.
Well, he's a happy little cab.
I'm happy Jerry cut me in half and turned me into a cab and then threw me in a bin where I'm going to spend the rest of my life. Happy. So yeah, that's whoop.
Stop shaking your phone.
I'm trying. It's kind of hard to see. That's not right. So here's another piece of opal, common opal. You can see this has got these crazy looking lines. Crazy looking lines. That's why I grabbed some of this stuff with these lines, because and that particular piece was the gem from the gem field, and this is from the gem field too. This has got some really cool looking stuff.
So Beth wants to know, how do you tell if it's something is opal? What is the tell?
The tell?
Mm-hmm.
Geez, I'm not a geologist, so I'm like you, Beth. I need to be told, otherwise I wouldn't have a clue. So I guess you can't do a hardness test, because if you look it up, they say that it's soft, but this stuff is not even close to being soft. This stuff is hard as a rock. So I don't think that would be a good test. So I think it because it's so you would have to do like the spectrometer test on it, and you would
Hi,
you would
Rick.
Rick, you would find out that it's hydro, hydrized silica dioxide. So yes, you would have to do like a chemical test to
Hi, Yvonne.
know exactly what it is. Hey, Yvonne. So yeah, I don't and you get that a lot of time. People are like like they'll send you pictures of a rock. Like say let's just use a backside, like, and they're like, oh, what is that? Well, if you just look at that, I mean, it could literally be a hundred different things that look like that. I mean, that to me, that looks like a chirp.
So she said the structure is not seen without some help.
Yes, you would definitely need some help. Some of it probably easier than others. Like maybe like the highlight opal, because it phosphorescent or UVs. So, and this orange, if everybody's looking at my orange, if you see my cab on the Discord, I did some red jasper, and everything here is red. My fingers have been dyed red for days now. So, but yeah, so these pinks, if you look at this, I mean, this is a real pretty piece. I like this, but this pink.
So, what part of the U.S. would you find
this stuff right here? These pieces right here. These 4 pieces are from Gemfield, Nevada. These 2 pieces, I think, are from. Sorry. These 2 pieces, I think, are from like Wyoming. And then we go highlight opal, which is this. This is from Mexico. And of course, highlight opal, it can be found in the United States too. But this piece is from Mexico. And then, of course, the pink is from Peru. And if people don't know about this pink, that's your pink. So yeah, and the pinkest stuff is from Peru. So this would be an easy spot. And if you would find this stuff in the rough, of course it has the caliche on it, which I'm sure is the surface. But you would definitely know, because there's not a lot when it comes to colors and rocks.
So Beth said she got some pink opal that she got from the gem shop.
Right. Pink is not a real common color. So of rock, you can have rock with pink in it, but pink in a rock is pretty unique. So yeah, this is, of course, this is hold this up too. So yeah.
So Peggy wants to know, what do you look for in the natural state?
In this natural state, what would you look for?
Yeah.
Like the formations? Yeah, that's another one. I mean, it can come in a lot of different areas. So
in different colors.
And again, yeah, it can come in the common opals, and then I've heard like they even find this by like copper mines and stuff like that. So why you would have something like this
in Wisconsin has natural opal.
Yeah, we have common opal here in Wisconsin, and and we're mainly red granite, so I think it can be found in a lot of different places. So I am definitely no expert in where to find this stuff, other than the stuff that we found. So this is completely dry. This has got these crazy. That's why I picked this stuff, is because it has this crazy lining in there. I thought, wow, that would just make a killer cab. And of course, this one was made out of that. But again, if you look at just like the surface of it, and when I was there, busting this stuff up, because they have like these.
Is this common?
No, that's actually, where'd you go? That's actually a piece of. This is a piece of Spencer opal that I cut the color play stuff off of. So I guess technically this is potch. And actually, you know, they say common opal is potch, so it's opal that didn't have color. So basically, you know, I guess.
So is it waxy looking?
Yes, this stuff, the stuff from the gem field, you know, even these, and I got a separate video on this stuff where I was collecting this stuff. These boulders are like bigger than my truck, and this is what it looks like. This is, like I say, it's completely dry, very waxy, but super brittle, and it comes in, you know, these huge pieces. I mean, this isn't like big. I mean, I got huge pieces. But this, you know, if you look at the surface, I mean,
it looks like crayons, like somebody wrote on it with crayons. Now, is it crayons or what?
It's crayons.
Crayons.
We had this argument, crayons. So yeah, this is just, you know, again, beautiful material. But if you look at it, you're just looking at it, you can just see, you know. And I tried to cut this like on my little 10-inch saw, and it just you know, it just shatters into pieces. So
yeah, petrified saltwater taffy.
You're not going to get real huge
I agree. That's what I think it looks like too, Don.
And then, of course, here's a little piece of highlight. And again, you can see the fractures. And they get like common opal. Like I've even seen common opal in like thunder eggs, and it'll come in like blue and white.
You're not even on screen.
Oh, sorry. Blue and white. And I have a big piece somewhere for a thunder egg. Here, Brenda, hold on this camera.
Okay.
Shine it at a rock.
Okay.
Whoa.
So he's looking for a rock. I tell him every week to be prepared.
And he's never prepared.
No.
Yeah, because when you're talking about something, then he kind of gets you thinking about something else.
That you got something else that you're doing?
I have it, but I don't remember where it was. Rick said he found a lot of opal and thunder eggs also. Yeah, so it's common in thunder eggs, so why?
And then he said but that's typically potch, cream, or white.
Yes, this was a real white color. So again, and if let me grab the camera here, and I'm gonna try not to. I'm gonna go real slow. But here is my bin of common opal. And if you look, oh, this is all, see that glassy look. Right?
Does it sound when you pick it up like that glass when you knock it together?
It's got more of a deeper thud. You can see right here, you can see its cleavage, how it broke, it cleaved. Kind of see that in that little sun reflection there. So yeah, so again, it comes in, you know, multitudes of colors, patterns. So it's really pretty stuff. I've got some Mongo pieces of it. And I don't make people sick, and I do a little climbing here. Lift up here. This is, wow, this is a piece of highlight opal. That's highlight opal. It's a big.
Hi, Phil.
You know, hey, Phil, that's a big old chunk. And if I can,
you want to leave that on?
No. So, and if I'm making people sick again, but now if you look at this, that, and of course it's not real dark in here, but this will glow really crazy green, and it'll actually fluoresce for a while. And I know it's not really dark in here, dark enough for
That's
that,
highlight
but
opal that will do that.
yeah, that's a highlight. Oh, I lost it again. So yeah, that's highlight opal. So yeah, it's pretty unique. And of course, you know, just like that, pretty boring, right? It takes a good polish. You can see that big crack running down there. You can see a crack there. That's the thing about a lot of stones is you get the cracks, you get cracks and cracks and cracks and cracks. So yeah, so this is just some examples of our common opal. So what do you think? Like, did everybody like that common opal? So yeah, so you know, then you want to
There's opalized wood.
You want to work on, yeah, you can get opalized wood. I have a bunch of pieces of opalized wood, but I'd have to walk around and look at them. So yeah, opalized I think is just the way stuff gets opalized, is just the way the silica spheres are arranged. So the silica spheres get arranged, and that's what, you know, is your opal, and it's, you know, which is different than like the precious opal where they're arranged where they actually reflect light. So, you know. So anyhow, getting back to um, precious opal, because you know, hey, who don't like precious opal? I'm gonna slowly turn. So anyhow, so that being said, I've been, and we got this device here, but I've been working on some. You remember I got that box of Spencer opals, so I've been working on my Spencer opals and doing, of course, with the Spencer opals, we have to do like doublets and triplets. And I don't know. Hold on, let me see if I can zoom this in. That's gonna be it, huh? Whoa, whoa. So yeah, I've been working on my Spencer opals again.
Oh, you can see it. That's
Nice
pretty.
blue one. Here's one some matrix on it, but it's some good color. Again, you know, opal, you can see the big.
So would that be common opal next to that opal?
Yeah, this is common opal, or what they call potch. So basically, the difference between this part and this part is just the way the spheres are set up. Look at that lightning strike in that one, right?
Hi, Danny boy.
Cool.
Rick said now you're showing off, and he's so glad you are.
Yes, maybe that is from Lightning Ridge, because if that thing doesn't have a lightning bolt in it. So yeah, this opal is cool. Oh, opal's cool. So yeah, but again, this is the stuff I just recently had got from Spencer. So, and of course, it's, you know, the Spencer opals. It's not Australian opal. You're working with paper thin pieces. And I didn't do any of the big.
Hi, Cynthia.
Cynthia, I didn't do any of the big monster pieces. I just did kind of the smaller little chips.
So if you're just joining us, we talked about common opal, and now then we graduated to Spencer opal.
And of course, with Spencer, you get a lot of sandy stuff in there, a lot of the matrixy stuff. So yeah, still really pretty stuff from there. Of course, you know, your stuff. You know, I didn't get anything that I could have made like a doublet or just a single stone, because it's pretty thin. Maybe this one, you have to look closer at the color bar to see if that's thick enough. But definitely pretty color, but you know, you're kind of stuck with just for that one type where you've got doublets or triplets. Got some broad flash, good color. So yeah.
How can you not like a good opal? It's just something that.
Oh, right. This is another one that's pretty thick, but I think it's actually two separate color bars. I would have to grind down through this one color bar to get down to the bottom one, and yeah, you want to do that. So this one's kind of a bar. Had good color on the one side, but it's got this handy. So yeah, we'll do that. Here's really focusing on some dirt, really.
Oh, Rick, I know migraines are horrible.
Who's got a migraine?
He's been having migraines on and off.
It's not a tumor, it's a headache. Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's not a tumor, it's a headache.
Phil wants to know if you had any Harlequins.
Harlequin?
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that black one I had was a Harlequin. No, actually, you know, in Justin from like Black Opal Direct talks about Harlequins all the time, where a lot of time people like they say that it's a Harlequin when it's not. The Harlequin pattern is probably one of the rarest patterns, and a Harlequin pattern will have big squares. You know, that one I had, it was a honeycomb, and I was calling it a Harlequin, but a Harlequin will have like big squares. Yes, they're pretty unique and pretty rare as far as the opals go. So yes, that's some of the seam agate, which Spencer is known for as seam agate. So some other forms of from agate, I'm calling agate
Opals.
So some other forms of opal is, if anybody's heard of matrix, and this is the stuff they'll treat with like sugar and acid. And this piece was treated with the sugar, so it's kind of like a brown, but that is treated opal. And yes, it can be really impressive, but it's actually a treated opal. And you can now take this and smoke it. And again,
what? Put it in what?
You'd have to put this in sugar again and get it coated with sugar, and then you wrap it in tin foil and you bake it, and it'll smoke like a son of a bean, but it'll turn black. So then you'll have the same color flash in a black background. So this stone, you can see all the flash. This stone would be just absolutely amazing. This is from Claude too, but a real crazy looking piece. Beautiful color.
So this is Claude stuff now?
Yes, this is the Claude thing. So yes, amazing flash everywhere in the stone. Got color, but because it's a matrixy piece, kind of ugly. I mean, the stone that it's in is kind of ugly, where it's kind of, you know, like that would be black. That would be just outstanding.
So Claude is saying treated like Anna de Mocha matrix.
And the Mocha matrix. Yes, what a beauty. So yeah, I've seen some videos where they actually do that, where they start treating these and they where they treat them and they come out. So yeah, it would be interesting to try to turn that into a black opal. That impressive, and it's big, and this is a big, not bigger than one finger. So then other opals, you'll get what they call, they call it jelly or crystal, and that would be this. You can see my fingers behind there. This piece is just a big chunk of crystal. But if you look good, thing on the top, it's got this red.
Um,
And then,
Phil is saying they also use HC acid in place of cooking it.
yes. Yeah, there's a guy that has a channel, and he has like he did like he had all these chips he made, opal chips, and he does like 100 different little treatments that he does on them, and with the same stone that he cut up, and shows you what the end result is in each stone, how he did it, and
So,
exactly how he does
High
it.
Resort Dog saying boil it
Hey,
in
dog.
brown sugar syrup in a
Yes.
pressure cooker.
Yes, and then put it in tin foil and bake it to get it black. Because I think this is already treated. So this was already sugared, and then the guy, Claude's buddy that he got the stuff from, must have just cut it and kind of like ground it down. But again, it's brown, so brown.
So he's never used acid, he just baked it.
Oh, I used acid, but it was like way back in high school. So
Jerry.
come on, I was a kid, for God's sake. So
Aw.
now this piece is another piece of jelly, very clear. This piece, oh, that's a wowzer. Although, you got sand outside, so you could make crack. You could definitely make a couple stones out of this, ring stone anyhow. But what a flasher, right? This is the one that one guy saw coming out round by the pole beats. Boogity boogity. I guess that's why they call him the street. That is a flasher. And then that piece there, dry my hands off real quick, is actually the matching piece to the Brenda stone I made. So this was Brenda's cab that she, of course, claimed.
So Claude said sugar water, sulfuric acid, I believe. He watched them do it in Australians' videos.
Yes. So that's something, although I have one piece, so, I better not mess it up. So yeah, so here's the stone. This isn't wet. This is the finished stone. And here is, they say, the matched piece, that stone, or, one of the just like it. So I got actually enough you could do the pendant, and probably like there you could do the ring, and on these two you could probably do the earrings. So I probably have enough to do a complete set, pendant, ring, and earrings with this chunk right here.
So Phil's
And,
saying Roy's Rocks has some good Australian opal videos.
Right?
And Black Opal Direct also.
Yes. Justin had Black Opal Direct. Yeah, and believe it or not, Justin, not saying I am Justin, But watching Justin's videos where he, works on them tiny little stones by fingers, I'm like, you guy's crazy. But it took a long time, but now that's what I do. I don't use, although I still use sticks from time to time, but there's a lot of stuff that I don't use sticks. I very, very seldom use a stick because not saying it's, you get that good. It just, you get so used to it. And of course I get, ground down parts of my finger. My fingernails are gone. And that's from
They don't want to see my finger.
yes, using it from hand by hand. But I'll do like tiny, 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 tiny pieces by hand just because, I was watching Justin do it. I'm like, yeah, I got to be able to do that too. So that's just how I do it now. Plus, in this colder environment, with the colder environment, every time you do anything on a dop, the second you hit that cold water, it falls off the dop stick anyhow. So basically, it was more than me saying, I got to do that. It's like, it's not a necessity because you can't dop anything when it gets this cold out because it keeps falling off. So here's a big piece of seam. First piece is huge. Like, whoa, scrapers.
You're dropping stuff?
Yes, I dropped the freaking phone stick. So here we go with this piece of seam. Got this big, broad blue flash. And it goes to like a green on this end. But down here, I know the camera's not picking it up. It's got some really good twinkle. And that twinkle goes down pretty, pretty deep inside there. So, again, real broad, flashy piece. Here you can see it up there. A real nice piece of seam. And then, of course, start to get to the darker stuff. Look, 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 look. Nice piece of dark gray. Will it turn black inside there? Geez, I hope so. Will it be all black? Probably
Hi,
not.
Betty.
Hi, Betty. But really nice pattern right up in there. Real pretty part. I see some color hiding in there. Of course, on the other side, it's just all color. But this part up here,
Betty's saying she ground on some Spencer today and she didn't get anywheres.
oh no, keep trying, Betty. It's there. Now this piece,
If you have questions, there's a lot of people that are working with opal right now.
yes,
So I think if you would contact anybody they will help you out.
yes. I've got videos where I go step by
Hi,
step.
Jeff.
Hey Jeff, where I go step by step and do these Spencer opal triplets. Now this piece, you can see the got like specks, little colors, and it's whatever. But get this wet again. But the part where it kind of cleaved looked like it could be black inside of there. You got the green, and then you got the purple. So is this, is that like dark? Does that go black? Further I go in there, will it get really dark black? That black and the color is like right in there. In that dark patch. but the rest of it, kind of giving any clues it'll be dark, but kind of looks dark in there.
So
So
Resort
this-
Dog is saying he's been going through Potch all day, and tonight he'll get out the black light and make some decisions.
Yeah, I took a regular light and like a gem torch, not the gem torch, but a light like that, and no help on this one. It's too dark.
That they can't hear you, Jerry.
Can't hear me?
That's what she's saying.
My microphone died or what?
I don't know. Here, you want mine?
Oh, I never turned it on. Oh, hold on. Let me get.
I told you.
Here's the phone to Brenda.
Sorry about that. You should have said something right away.
Now can you hear me? So yes, stupid is as stupid does.
Hi, Josh.
Hey Josh. So yeah, stupid is as stupid does. You can probably hear me really well. So I clipped on my microphone and I never turned it on. Oh, silly me.
Yeah.
That's what happens to us old people is our minds get very feeble.
No, you get sidetracked.
And we start doing stupid stuff. And we have people that are with us that are supposed to be reminding me of this stuff.
I do remind you
And
of
she didn't
stuff.
remind me of anything. Oops, sorry for making people whirl. So yeah, so Brenda should have reminded me that I didn't have my microphone on, but I suppose I was sitting next to her. So yes. So nobody heard a thing I said. Do we need to go back and do it all over again?
No.
Yeah.
So Jeff's hoping that everybody had a good Christmas.
Yes, yeah. At the beginning, Jeff, I told everybody I hope everybody got their wishes fulfilled. So if anybody wasn't watching the Discord, here was my cab for the Discord. And it was supposed to be fire and ice, and then it was supposed to be a Christmas theme. So of course I did the Christmas present. That's what I was talking about. Why my fingers are orange is because this red jasper.
And Jerry don't think before he talks.
No, this red jasper just it's red. I mean, it looks like the water is like blood. I don't want to make anybody sick, but it's definitely orange. And of course, this is a band of tater, and then this is a Maligano jasper too. So it's actually basically 3 forms of jasper. But yeah, this is my entry on the Discord for the non-traditional cab, because the non-traditional is traditional is just a regular cab. Non-traditional is something a little bit different. So, what do you think? Did they need a Christmas present? And believe it or not,
yes, Rick, I did have an excellent Christmas. I got white lightning. Other than you missed it, I slammed my finger in my car door.
Yes. So actually, that was a big square. It was twice this size, and this tater that's in the center there ran down the center, and it was a big square, and the bowl was a lot bigger, but it kept breaking and breaking and breaking, and I ran out of time because we were so freaking busy. Let me turn this camera around and set this back up. So we ran out of time, and it was so freaking busy that, because of the holidays and stuff, that I ran out of time, and then I just did it like this, and then, entered it. And then when I entered it, I looked like, oh, it's tomorrow. So I actually had an extra day that I could have worked on this another day, which probably would have made it, where I had, and I can show you. I'm going to keep busy.
Yeah. Well, what am I supposed to do?
I don't know. Dance. Show them your bad finger.
Oh, nobody wants to see my finger.
Well, there you go.
It was bad. It wouldn't have been so bad if I wouldn't have had to open the car door to get my finger out.
All right, let me figure this out here. So yeah, so this is, now if you look at that, this part was actually going to be connected to that. So it would have been really big, and then the bow would have been a lot bigger, but because this kept breaking, and then I just, ran out of time, thought I ran out of time, and then I just ran with the half piece, and then that's ended up being that. So,
alrighty. So Phil is going
so
to
yeah, remember Phil, which his channel is Dad Rocks, is going to be going live doing dad stuff. No, doing Phil stuff. I'm not sure. What are you doing, Phil? Maybe he's like getting ready. So yeah,
Maybe.
Phil's going to be doing a live. He was wondering when I was going to be done, when we were going to be done, and I told him I was going to do a filibuster. So he said, "How long is it going to be?" And I said, "Well, we're going to do the filibuster. So we're going to be
doing
24 hours straight, no sleep, and keep, and I could probably just ramble on about stupid stuff." So, but we promised Phil that, it would be a little bit shorter, not so short, yada, yada, yada. So it is what it is. So yeah, we want to let Phil have some space. Oh, and then I, as a matter of fact, let me do one more.
And then I can say that we're going to our next live. Your next live will be in the new year.
Yes, the new year. Let me turn this around
and
real
I
quick.
hope everybody makes reasonable New Year's resolutions.
Zoom it in. I also had a couple more pieces that I want to show. Now this, now this is a piece I kind of just tried using some of them little chips, and I used some black epoxy.
Oh, he's saying we have an hour yet. You could ramble.
Oh yeah. So when I did this, and then it can't, and with these little chips, some of them ended up not having color on them, and then there was just way too much space in between them.
But it's practice.
But just messing around with stuff to see whatever. And then I did this with a piece of boulder opal. Oops, sorry, I'll move it around here. I did this with a piece of boulder opal, and it's like a carving. And if you can see, there's just a little bit of, you can see like on the back, there's just a little bit of, there you can see a little green flash. On his mouth, you can see a flash in his eye. I think his head's got a little bit of purple. So this is just a little carving. No, I didn't do this.
Jerry is such a liar.
You can buy this stuff at a tourist shop. If you ever go to Machu Picchu, you can get this stuff from a tourist shop. But it is actually boulder opal. And if you look just
I'm
right,
saying it's a stunning likeness.
Yes, it looks like me, right? So yes, so here's what third world country guys do with opal. Oh, here, I'll switch it around again.
Because you like to make people
dizzy. So yes, even though I have the free flow of freedom over there, not really a freedom, it's the Harbor Freight knockoff. But I could do this, and I have, cut stuff, drilled stuff, Dremel stuff. Anybody remembers a while back I did my Halloween cab for the Discord, was this little highlight opal ghost, and he does, well, I won't do it now, but he does glow in the dark. So I did that, but
yes, it does look exactly like you. Oh boy, Jerry.
Yeah, what do you think? Hey, did you see this? I'm trying to be like Jeff. No, I don't. I have off this week, so normally I would have shaved and
yeah, he stinks.
Took a shower.
Old man stinks.
Took a shower, but because I don't have to work tomorrow, I didn't. So
He'll be shaving and showering
So
when he gets back in the house. Quit that, Jerry. Quit that. Alrighty,
So-
we hope to see you
no,
guys in
so
the
yes,
new year.
so I'm going to be doing a video. It won't be a live. It'll be a video, and I'm gonna spoof something, and I won't go into a real lot of detail, but it'll be a comedy bit that I'll be doing. So
I thought every time you talked, it was a comedy.
yes, it's hard not to be. It's hard not to do a comedy bit. So yes, so I'll be doing a comedy bit, and it won't be a comedy as far as what I'll be doing, but it should be humorous to the viewers. So look for that coming up, like, when I get time. Of course, we got, six, and if anybody watches the news, like New York, they had a state of emergency.
Snow.
They had less, and they were calling for less than 4 inches of snow, but Hochul called a state of emergency for less than 4 inches of snow. And that's funny because I just watched the news, and we're expecting 3 to 6 inches, and the news actually said blizzard-like conditions. 3 to 6 inches. And I don't know, I know a lot of people aren't as old as I am. Most of you aren't as old as I am, but I know, like, we used to wait for the school bus in like 2 feet of brand new snow overnight, and we're standing out at the end of the trailer court, and the wind is blowing 90 miles an hour, and it's just
With
a
your
complete whiteout.
Bread baked boots.
Yes, and I was a poor kid, poor trailer trash kid, no boots, no gloves, no nothing, no insulated long john, none of that stuff. We didn't have any of that stuff. And we would stand out there and wait for that freaking bus, and that bus would come and pick us up and take us to school. And it was, in my whole 12 years of school, I'll be 13, right? Counting kindergarten, 13 years of school. They didn't have preschool back in the 60s either. But, and like my whole entire lifetime in school, I could probably count on one hand how many times school was called off for the weather. You didn't get. If there was like severe thunderstorms, tornadoes, you didn't go. You weren't going anywhere.
Betty waited for the school bus in a garbage bag.
Oh yeah, garbage bag would. Yeah, Betty, we used to put because we didn't have boots. So when we would go outside and play with the other trailer trash kids, and of course I jest people that grew up in trailers aren't trailer trash kids, but as I grew up and I heard everybody always explain it to me that I was a trailer trash kid, we had, our crappy Franklin tennis shoes, and everybody's familiar with Franklin tennis shoes. You used to get them at Kmart. That was Kmart's brand, was Franklin. That's what we had, our Franklin tennis shoes. We would put on 2 pairs of socks and then stick your feet in bread bags and then put another sock over the top of that and then put your shoes on, and that's how you went out in the wintertime. And that's how we went. We didn't have any of the snow, and of course, that was because my dad, he's probably not watching, and I don't want to say he's actually, believe it or not, he's actually still alive. Like, wow, they say that God takes the good ones quick, so maybe I don't know. That's not true. So anyhow, so yes, he's still alive. I doubt he's watching, but he back in the 60s and 70s, they didn't make people pay child support. So, he had like 6 kids, and he split. And my mom was an immigrant. We were all from Germany, and she barely spoke any English. And he brought her over here, dumped her with 6 freaking kids. Like, oh no, she broke her back, and then he dumped her with 6 kids. So yeah, so our upbringing was crap. So if everybody, a lot of people look at us and like, oh, you guys are rich, you guys are wealthy, you know, I could have played that card like, oh, you know, I'm a druggy alcoholic because my family life, my, you know, upbringing was crap. No, I strive my whole entire life to get out of that. And to that day, and to this day, you know, I swore I will never be like that. You know, I'm never going to be freaking poor. I'm never going to be living from paycheck to paycheck. And, you know, it came from being wise, always paying bills off from first, never taking loans out. And I paid child support for 17 freaking years. So I know what everybody else has. I know how it is. But, you know, I kept striving and striving and striving to get to this point in my life where we finally have the stuff, because I went a lot of years without boats, without quad runners, without side by sides, without motorcycles, without all this stuff. You know, we went without it, but now I have it. And a perfect example of that is like Brenda's like, you know, like the store, like, oh, let's get Roundy's brand. I'm like, I'm not getting Roundy's brand. I'm getting Libby's or Del Monte or something. I'm not getting no knockoff generic. It's the same thing. Crap. Get that? No, I'm not eating that crap. I freaking, I did my mic. I went eating that crap my whole life. I'm eating good stuff now. And people are like, there's no difference between Ron and Lloyd's brand ketchup and Hunt's ketchup. Like, the heck, there ain't. There's like so much difference. Like, I'm going to eat good stuff. So that's where I am in life. That's where we are in life. You know, we have the good stuff now. We drive new vehicles. We pay our bills.
Yeah, you got new, at least you got new socks now.
Payday, yes. Payday comes. We pay bills first. If there's anything that we're gonna buy, you throw some in savings, and then that extra little bit of cash, that's what you can go out and do your stuff. It's not reverse. And people do that, you know, they oh no, it's payday. I'm gonna do, you know, my wanton stuff first. No, you pay your bills first, you put a little bit of money aside. That's how you get ahead. And there's some of us out there that know that. So that's how you get ahead. And this isn't a financial thing. But speaking of financial stuff, did you see that silver's at like $70 an ounce? Over $70 an ounce. Like, who would have thought that? Me. I did. I knew it. I knew it was coming. I knew it. And I stocked up. So yes. So one of my recent finds, I was at an estate sale, and they had, you know, it's a bunch of stuff, and they had sterling silver, some spoons and some forks and some knives, and it was like a package deal, and it had a old coffee grinder, it had an old glass nut chopper. People don't probably know what these things are because you got to be old to know what they are. Back in the day, we had to do this stuff all ourselves. And then they had a couple crystal creamers with pretty lids on them, and some other miscellaneous stuff in there, which I wasn't even looking at. I just automatically take the silverware and like sterling. Oh, it's all sterling. And I got the whole lot for $40. And, you know, if people don't know about the sterling silverware, you know, the spoons and the forks, of course, the knife is a metal blade in a cement filled handle. So the knife you would think would be the most is actually the least amount. But I mean, each utensil is just about an ounce anyhow. So, you know, I mean, I got, you know, 7 ounces of sterling silver for you know, $40. Like, so yeah, deals are still out there. Get out there and look, man. Just look, they're out there. So yeah, so that was it. So next week, I'm thinking
it'll be the new year.
Maybe opal. No, we can do. Well, I don't want to make people dizzy, but yes, we can do something different. Something different.
We're gonna turn
So,
over a new leaf
next
because
week,
it's gonna be
so
a
next
new
week
year.
I'll start something different and like show like some different stuff, and then show more opals.
No.
So we'll do
No.
some other stuff, and then I'll show some more.
Alrighty.
So yeah, so thanks everybody for watching, tuning in.
Watch Phil. Dad.
Hit that like button, as Brenda didn't say, and
Oh,
nobody
hit the
else
like
said. Remember,
Yeah.
hit that like button. It helps the
Don
channel
even
out.
said, "Don't
Well,
be a
thanks,
loser."
Don. There's Phil. Phil's got a show coming up,
Yeah.
and
He's saying if you don't want your opals, send them to
yes,
him.
Phil, we will gladly
and a
take your opals.
Little helpful hint: don't slam your finger in the car
Yes,
door.
and Brenda says, helpful tip: don't slam your own finger in the car door because it hurts.
Yes.
It really hurts. So yes, so Phil's got a live coming up shortly. It's probably about opals. I know he got a beautiful necklace from Claude, and if anybody doesn't know Claude,
it wasn't. He's already gone.
So, Claude's already gone.
Yeah.
So if anybody doesn't know, if you're looking for rough opals, you know, rough opals, finished opals, opal jewelry. He's got gold. He's got silver. He's got
already
beautiful stuff. Just remember Claude, and you can probably and I keep thinking like to write down his email, and by God, I will remember to post his email stuff, because he's okay with people contacting him. But if you're looking for rough opal, finished opal jewelry, gold, sterling silver, look him up. He's got some beautiful stuff. I mean, he's got a lot of rough opal.
Yeah, that I think I may be gonna lose my nail.
He's got a lot of rough opal, and you can see Jeff from J&V Rock Hounding, Phil from Dad's Rocks, I think Cheryl from Soul Adventurist has got Boulder Opal. Yeah, Cheryl got Boulder Opal, and there's probably a few other. I know Don from the Opal Guy had got some stuff from Jeff, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he had done some stuff that Jeff had sent him. So yeah, so if you're out there looking for some rough opal, Claude's the guy to see. He's got, you know, and you can, you know, Boulder opal, regular opal, but he's got stuff, you know, for like one or two pieces for like $9,000. This is some serious opal, and
he
well
said
worth.
He gave it to him from Lapidary Dave.
It's Australian opal. Oh, he went through Lapidary Dave?
Yeah, something. I don't know.
Oh, so it was different than Claude opal?
Yes.
Oh, well, there it is.
Okay.
So, you know,
already.
Hey, if you're looking for some opal done, you know, I got that. You know, if you saw me with that box or bag of tiny little bits, if you're looking for some opal just to mess around with, let me know. I'm sure we can do some trade or something or whatever. So, all right, everybody. So anyhow, Brenda keeps stopping me from blabbing on, because I will. I'm like our neighbor. I will talk and talk and talk until you fall asleep, if you let me. So thanks, everybody. Have a good one. I'll see you soon in a rock room near you. And remember, live long and prospect. Bye, everybody. Now, how do I shut this off?